You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here.
Well, thank you, Bonnie.
Sure.
Well, I'm so glad you gave the gift of church to yourself today, here and on our Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. Do I have anything else?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay. Well, anyway, it's a beautiful morning, a little chilly for me, but I don't know. We'll warm it up.
We will. Yeah, let's warm it up now.
Let's warm it up now.
How about you find somebody, maybe somebody that you haven't met, and tell them what brought you to church today? Not in terms of vehicle, but what inspired you to come to church today? Go for it.
Miss Carol sitting outside her house.
Yes. I had to get away from the dogs. They were too rowdy. I said dogs because I think I might be, being recorded on the. Yeah. I was trying to think. I said something. That time I said something. What was it? I can't say it now. But yeah. But it was something that. Oh, I know what it was.
And then there's Ruby.
Yeah, little Ruby girl. Yeah. She's so cute. Yeah. It's like going. Okay, I guess. Good job, y'all. Small but lively group this morning. So anyway, let's continue in the joy by bringing forward Bill Hadris, who is one of our youth directors, people, whatever. What's your title?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. I'm Bill Hadris with Youth and Family. The children want to come up today? Ruby, you coming?
Ruby.
Maybe.
Here she comes.
Hey.
Oh my goodness.
Right there. All right. Well, today I have a story to tell. So sit back and relax. A family went on vacation. Parents, grandparents, and 3 young children. They visited Mayan ruins. While it was beautiful and felt like a very sacred space, the children were infatuated by all the iguanas. They kept trying to get close enough to pet them. Grandpa, thinking it was funny, said, "If you catch one, you get to keep it." Mom was worried crazy. One of them was going to get bitten. They never did catch one. The rest of the trip, all the way home, the children could only talk about getting an iguana. Neither parent was enthusiastic about it. A short time after they returned home to Ventura, a friend unexpectedly asked, "Would your children like an iguana?" "One wandered into my yard, and I can't find its owners." It's amazing what you have the power to manifest. Would you all like to try it? Huh? I invite you to relax, close your eyes, take a breath. Let go of your thoughts. Take one more big breath. And be present. Now, in your mind, picture something you would like to attract into your life. An object, a person, a relationship, an experience. See it clearly. What it looks like. What it smells like. What it feels like. Be very clear on the details. Now create this perfect space in your life for this attraction to thrive in. Let go of anything holding it back. You may open your eyes. Now, the next step is to take this mental experience into your everyday life. Make it real. Act as if you are receiving it. And let Spirit decide when. I invite you all to repeat after me. I make conscious choices.
I make conscious choices.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.
Bill, I've got a quick question for you. Was that a true story about the iguana?
It was.
Does it have to do with you? Because Jennifer and Greg had an iguana for quite a while, right? Gladys?
Gladys is the iguana.
Oh,
yes.
How nice. What a lovely God is in the house. Look at that.
Look at that.
Yes, it's okay. That made sense to everybody, I'm sure. Let's go ahead and sing You Are the Face of God to beloved Ruby. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. And so it is. Thank you. And you too are the face of God too. All right. Okay. So as our youth move on to their classrooms, we have Mary here. Mary is going to she's a practitioner, and she'll lead us in prayer.
Good morning. Will all the reverends and practitioners please stand up and support this prayer? Settle in your seat, find your grounding, open your mind. So Spirit is here, alive, creating with joy and delight, with wisdom and love. And I'm connected to that Spirit as well as everyone in this room and everyone throughout the universe and cosmos. And today's service is full of life and vitality. It creates a place for us to come and be together, to hear wisdom and feel the joy of who we are and what we create here. The service is blessed with many helping hands and many receiving hearts. And so I'm so grateful for this time, this community that makes us whole and one. And I release my words into the law, knowing that they are already manifest. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Mary. And as we continue to breathe and relax and let go, we center our awareness at the core of our being. As we inhale and exhale and relax, letting go further, we open our hearts to hear the words of our sacred reading.
As evidence that cosmology and mysticism are universal allegories, it is remarkable that this poem was written by a Muslim teacher of the Quran, albeit a Sufi, in the 13th century, while the Crusades and the Kingdom of Jerusalem were happening just a few hundred miles to the south. The words of Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi. The body is like Mary, and each of us has a Jesus inside. Who is not in labor, holy labor? Every creature is. see the value of true art when the earth or a soul is in the mood to create beauty. For the witness might then for a moment know beyond any doubt God is really there within, so innocently drawing life from us with her umbilical universe. Though also needing to be born, yes, God also needs to be born. Birth from a hand's loving touch, birth from a song breathing life into this world. The body is like Mary, and each of us has a Christ within.
Thank you. And so we breathe into that awareness of the Christ consciousness, which is the consciousness of oneness, of peace, of wholeness, of healing. Christ goes by many names. It is heaven on earth. It is joy. It is the I am presence, that oneness that embraces all of us, that is eternal, and that lives and has its being through each of us. And so today, as we sing together, we remember who we are. And we remember not only for ourselves, but we remember for every single person in this room. For the soul of the community, we remember. And for every being here in the cosmos, we remember the I am, another name for love. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. Alive and thriving in the I am presence. Let us breathe in deeply. And then exhale, gently opening our eyes as love, and in love and in service to what is, as it is, and so it is. Namaste. was so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. It's a little chilly in here, right? Anybody chilly? We're working on it, okay? Okay, so welcome again. The name of this message today is Conceive, a Divine Idea. Oh, Karen, you're here when your photo is being broadcast. And Kathy, and I'm not sure if Deborah is here, but how wonderful. Oh, there she is. Yeah, why don't you all stand up and let us applaud you? Yeah, that's my motto. Come to church and be humiliated. That's what we strive for here. So conceive a divine idea. What is that about? Well, I will tell you once I click my slide and remember. Uh-oh. Oh, wait. It's that kind of a morning. Okay, here we go. Let's try again. Uh-oh. I think my battery's up. Wait, let me try again. It's a goner. Can I? Oh, okay. I don't know if I did that or they did. But anyway, my question for you, because, Hugh did that poem about the Blessed Virgin Mary, and many people, we have a lot of newer people in the congregation these days, and people wonder, is this a Christian church? Now, at this point, I would dramatically point to the flat choir, but they all ran away. I don't know where they went. Little stinkers have a mind of their own, don't they? Right? Okay, so are we a Christian church? The flat choir looks kind of like this. And it's a bunch of mystics from all different faith traditions, and we usually have them seated up there. Because although we celebrate the teachings of Jesus, it depends on how you define Christianity. If you define Christianity as we believe that Jesus is the only way to salvation, then we're definitely not a Christian church, because we believe there are many paths to God, and that we're all already one with God. So there's no really being saved, like from the abyss of hell and whatnot, but there is a way that we can align ourselves with the goodness and the grace that is God. And you can do that any way you want. You can do that through Jesus or the Buddha or through the Sufism or Judaism, or I'm going to leave out a religion, through nature, through love of animals. It's all God. So really pretty much anything goes. But we do like the teachings of Jesus, which is why I'm doing kind of a combination of Jesus and Sufism today. So this verse from the Bible, probably some of you know, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Did any of you hear that as you were growing up by any chance? Yeah. And did it ring a certain amount of exclusivity to folks? It can certainly be interpreted in that way, that that God gave his only son being Jesus in more traditional Christian traditions, and that you have to believe in that particular figure, that particular character, in order to have everlasting life. That's what I think a lot of people are taught when they were younger. So the next slide is, what does this only son business mean? Okay? So Meister Eckhart says that God did not beget but one son, but is forever begetting the begotten. Okay? That made sense to everybody, right? Yeah. Would you like to come up and explain that for the rest of the people? Okay. Yeah. What it means, I think, is that Richard Rohr says Christ is another name for everything. Christ is another name for everything. We can call it the Christ consciousness, meaning, as I said before, the consciousness of oneness, the consciousness of wholeness, the consciousness of infinite absolute love that nothing can destroy. It is the part within us that is completely loving, completely unassailable, that even death cannot touch. Christ is another name for everything. It's nature, it's the trees, it's the flowers, it's the birds, it's the bees, it's the butterflies, it's everything. So Christ is another name for everything. And other theorists, like Richard Rohr, he's a Franciscan mystic, he says that the Big Bang began at incarnation. He's not the only one who said that, or the incarnation began at the Big Bang. When the universe exploded out of the void, that was the incarnation of the Christ consciousness, the incarnation of everything, the embodiment of everything, spirit becoming matter. Okay? The Franciscans also talk about the scandal of the particular. I'm going to get scandalous here for just a minute. I got nothing. I'm old. What can I say? I got nothing scandalous about myself. So anyway, to me, the scandal of the particular, I read about this last night, and it didn't completely make sense to me, but I think of it like this, okay? This is how it makes sense to me. That God, this abundant, infinite, everlasting presence that cannot be captured in words, decided to lock itself into physical form. That's just scandalous that God would decide to do that. God so loved the world that it put itself in physical form so that we could experience it, so that we could be the eyes and the hands and the feet and the heart of the divine, so that it could experience itself through us and through everything, through the flowers, through the rocks, through the trees. That to me is just beautifully scandalous, and I love it. The scandal of the particular. Why don't you turn to someone and say, "You are scandalous." I don't see everybody playing along, but that's okay. That's fine. So you're scandalous too, okay? And another thing that to me makes sense of who is the only Son of God is that it's an image that we can fall in love with. I was conversing with some ministers this week, and we were talking about that particular verse, and one of them said, "For God so loved the world that he or she, it gave us an image that we could fall in love with." Richard Rohr says that too. God is everything, but he gave us Jesus for a face that we could fall in love with. And you could say that about the person sitting next to you. You could say that about your dog. You could say that about a cat. God gave us images that we could fall in love with. That's also part of the scandal of the particular, is that the wholeness and the infinite comes into the particular so that we have something definite to love, something concrete to love, something that we can put our hands on to love. Okay? All right. Let's talk a little bit more about that only word, though. The only begotten Son. Now, that's the part that folks often use to claim exclusivity, that we are the only path. Well, we're definitely not the only path, and I don't think any path is the only path. The paths that we choose are custom made for us, that we surrender to a path that feels right and appropriate and loving and kind and generous to us, a path that stretches us, a path that opens us up to greater possibilities. That's the only path, is that beautiful thing that calls to your soul, whatever that is. But why does the verse say that? Well, I'm about to tell you. Only. When I meditated on the word only in this context, I just came up with the phrase that God can only be God. God can't be God and something else. God can only be God because there is only God. Some of you who have been around this teaching for a long time know the phrase, there is not a spot where God is not, right? Not a spot where God is not. And what that means is that if something is infinite, there can't be infinite and something else. If something is omnipresent, there can't be omnipresence and then something else outside of omnipresence. God can only be God. God begets from itself in its own nature. Now, this reminds me a little bit of the Hindu religion, where they talk about how Brahman, the soul being, the source, cast itself into existence, to become existence, to enjoy the process of rediscovering itself. God begets from itself in its own nature. We all create in our own nature, okay? Another example, if you don't want to get into the Hindu philosophy, which I just went over very quickly, is let's say I wanted to have a puppy, like beget a puppy, okay? You get it? I could buy a puppy, but I can't give birth to a puppy. That's what I'm saying. I guess it's obvious to you. It was a revelation to me this morning when I thought, we might need another puppy someday. But I'm not giving birth to a puppy, am I? Okay, this is getting too strange for me. I'm out of here now. I can only beget of my own nature. Anybody can only beget of their own nature, right? We beget what is ours to beget. And the same thing is true with God. Because God is pure love, God, love, can only beget God, love. And it's like God can't do anything else but create out of itself. God can't do anything but everything. God can't do anything but create everything out of itself. So I hope that clears it up. Just think about the part about me giving birth to a puppy. That should get you through the week, okay? Okay. All right. So, what if the verse really meant something like this? Or what if we could interpret it like this? What if the verse means whatever we need it to mean, but for me right now, this verse, and possibly for you all, we might want to think of it like that, like this. For love so loves creating, the only thing she can do is create love out of herself. Whosoever consciously aligns with this process, whosoever creates love out of love, experiences ongoing and eternal union, heaven on earth. Love so loves creating. The macrocosm, God, the big God, the absolute reality, loves creating. And the only thing absolute reality can do is create out of itself, create the relative out of itself. The relative arises from the absolute. And if we consciously align with that, if we create in our own nature, we can create our own nature in the world. We can create love out of love. We can create union out of union. We can create joy out of joy. The challenge with that, though, is that we are creative beings. And so sometimes we move into a place where we're creating something unconsciously. Because we create of our own nature, if we are feeling the nature of fear, if we are feeling the nature of despair, if we are feeling the nature of hopelessness, then we will naturally start to see despair and reasons to be despairing or hopelessness or fear all around us, right? We don't believe what we see what we believe, okay? So it seems like the joy for all of us is to, again, change our thinking, change our insides, choose something that we really want to create from, and then naturally create from that place. And that's where that Body is Like Mary poem comes into play. The Annunciation story is, for those of you who are good Catholics, you may remember this, but Mary is a devout, pious woman, a Jewish woman, and a handmaiden of the Lord, and she is minding her own business, and an angel comes to her and says, Mary, you're going to give birth to the Christ, to Jesus, right? It's an allegory. Meaning that it's a story about all of us. It's an every man, every woman story. Every character represents something within each of us. And it might even be a to-do list based on Mary's response to the angel saying, you're going to give birth to the Christ, to Jesus, right? The body, or creation, is like Mary. That poem that Hugh read from Rumi, a Sufi poet. The body is like Mary, meaning the body of the universe and our bodies, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. We are like Mary. We create. The to-do list part is how are we appropriately receptive to the divine? What do we do to cause ourselves to be appropriately receptive to the divine? How do we take care of ourselves so that we can hear the divine call when it comes? For me, it certainly has something to do with spending some time in nature, with spending some time looking at the challenges that I have with getting in the way of the divine. Even eating and drinking appropriately tend to have an effect on my capacity to receive a divine influence. All of those things, for me, make a difference, and I'm sure that there are things for you that also can help you be more receptive to the voice of the divine, to tune out the chatter of the world, and to be receptive for your own divine calling. A divine calling, or the angel in this story, when the angel comes to Mary, it represents a divine idea. In her case, it was the Christ. So being receptive is being receptive to the divine, to something that comes forth from the inner divine within us and informs us as to what to do. She asks a clarifying question. The angel comes to Mary and says, this is going to happen. And she says, how can this be? How can this be? For no man has known me. You're telling me that I'm going to get pregnant out of the clear blue sky and give birth to Christ? That's exactly what she said in the... She asks a clarifying question, and the angel answers, the Holy Spirit will come to you, right? So when you get your divine idea, You can ask a question of it. Are you serious? That's what you want me to do? Right? And then Mary surrenders to the divine. She says, let it be with me according to thy will. And she surrenders. So, it's funny that Bill told that iguana story this morning. I wasn't quite ready for this slide yet, but okay, it's up there. Can you make it go back one? I don't want people to read it while I'm talking. Okay, thank you. I should just put this thing, no, I shouldn't, because that gives me the cue, okay. Okay, so it's so interesting that the kids were so receptive to the idea of an iguana that they manifested one. I'm not suggesting that you all go out and manifest an iguana, right? They manifested what was right for them. But so many times, has this happened to you? You get this divine idea of something that you're supposed to be or something that you're supposed to do, and you go, yeah, no, right? You deny it? Anybody raise your hand if you've ever denied a divine idea? Right? Okay, but pretty much everybody, yeah. And then it just keeps tapping, it keeps tapping, it keeps tapping, it keeps tapping, and finally, you can ask it a few questions. Do you really mean that I should do this? But finally, at some point, we surrender to it. And if it truly is a divine idea, we will be glad that we've surrendered. Maybe not immediately, because there is often a bit of letting go. Have you ever had a practitioner or a minister pray for you, and then after the prayer, your whole life falls apart? That's just letting go of that which is in the way of the full expression of the divine idea. This has happened to me so many times that the divine idea has tried to make itself known within me, and I've said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not running a church. Here I am. How'd that happen? I'm not ever getting a dog. That happened. I'm never going to sing in public. That happened years ago. Because something keeps pressing on us. The divine impulse is too big, and it wants you. The miracle that you are seeking is seeking you. So if you have an inkling of a divine idea, it's best to at least examine it, to take a look at it, and see what that might be. It's easier for the law, spiritual law, to work when we talk about spiritual principles, when we talk about divine ideas that are God qualities. Some people say that you have to be super specific in your prayers. I'm sure that does work for some people. It's never worked particularly well for me. It does much better for me when I say, I want to manifest greater love in my life, and then see how love shows up. Because the love is already there. I just have to have the eyes to see it. One of my practitioners, when I was seeing her as a client, she said, we sometimes limit the law by being too specific. Right? So this is a short list of angels or divine ideas, things that you might want to call forth in your life, things that might be speaking to you as I speak, things like love, integrity, kindness, freedom, abundance, grace, joy, peace, gratitude, equanimity, service, possibility. All of these things are divine ideas, God qualities we call them. And I recommend that if you take a look at your life, one of these or something else might be tapping at your window and saying, let me in, let me in, let me in, I want to shine through you. And then getting out of the way and allowing that to shine through. Allowing that to shine through, accepting that angel into your life. And if it helps to think of it as an angel, if it helps to give it a personality, because we are relational beings, if it helps to give it some type of a personality, by all means, call it the angel. The angel of abundance is longing to express in my life. The angel of service wants to express through me. The angel of kindness is having its way in my life right now, and I'm so excited about it, right? The more excited about it you can get, the better it goes for everybody, including you. Okay. So are you like Mary? Is your body like Mary? Is your life like Mary? What divine idea longs to be born through you? The divine idea that you are seeking is seeking you. And will you surrender to the highest divine idea for you and trust it? And trust it. That's the challenging part sometimes, isn't it? Yeah, I know. As some of the divine ideas I mentioned, the reason it took me so long to do certain things was because I just didn't trust it. I didn't trust it. I'm like, how could that happen to someone like me? I can't do that. But just bit by bit, the universe leads you into what you need to know next. It certainly is a process, right? I've put that slide up there several times recently about how the spiritual path is you're here and you think, okay, I'm going to be over here at this goal. And you think it's going to be like that, but it's not. It's more like staggering around and going backwards and going forth and all that, So it's just a process. And as we get to where we need to go, where we're called to go, ultimately we look back and the process was perfect in its own way. Okay? Trust the process. Rumi, in that poem that Hugh read, gives us a reason to trust. Every creature is in holy labor. We cannot help but create. We are creating all the time. Here in this spiritual center, whether it's Christian or non-Christian or whatever, I don't really care. We're here to look at the creative power of our lives, the creative energy that moves through us, and to say, okay, I'm having this particular train of thought. I'm thinking about lack all the time. Is that what I want to create? And then start thinking about abundance. Start thinking about all the abundance everywhere, right here in this room, right now, right? And the other beautiful thing about this idea from Rumi is that God draws its life from us, but God also needs to be born. So that there is this reciprocity between us and the divine, as if there were really two. There isn't really two, but God is drawing its life from us. God is expressing and experiencing through us, and God needs to be born through us. There's a line from a song that we used to sing in this center. It's called Use Me, and it's God needs us to shine its light. So God needs us to shine the light of love. God needs us to shine the light of abundance. God needs us to shine the light of integrity, of joy, of compassion, all of those things. Because if we don't do it, who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? We get to do it, and it's a privilege to do it. It is a privilege to be born and to allow God to be born through us. The only begotten sons and daughters of spirit, love begetting love, all of the time. There is a symbiosis. Isn't that so cute? A symbiotic relation in nature is where animals support each other. That, I guess it's a deer or a gazelle or something. It has birds probably eating bugs out of its ears. It benefits both, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. We draw life from God as God draws life from us, again, from Brother Rumi. We bless each other through acts of creation. And at some point, we realize that the two are not two, the two is one. It's that Mobius strip again. We don't exactly know who is blessing whom, whether it's God and us or God and creation. It's all just this Mobiosity that is moving through us all of the time, where the inner becomes the outer, and the outer becomes the inner, and the above becomes the below, and the below becomes the above, and the giver becomes the receiver, and the receiver becomes the giver. And that is the consciousness of heaven. That is the only begotten Son. That is love begetting love in all of us in a mystical and powerful and life-changing way. And I pray for that for all of us. So one of my minister colleagues says that she doesn't have a to-do list. She has a love to-do list. I love to do this. I love to do that. I love to clean out the guinea pig's cage. I love to go grocery shopping. Whatever it is, it's a love to-do list. What if we were to transform that? So this is our to-do list. Receptivity. Remember how Mary was receptive? It was through years of spiritual practice, I'm sure, but also just receptive in her attitude. James Finley, who is another Christian mystic, says, in terms of spiritual practice, I was reading this thing by him and expecting him to be like really strict about, you have to meditate X number of hours a day and you have to pray this way. No, he said, find a practice and practice. Find a practice and practice. So for some of us, that might be taking a walk in nature. For some of us, that might be playing golf. For some of us, that might be surfing. For some of us, that might be caring for an animal. For some of us, it might be caring for children, being a great mom or dad. Find a practice and practice. And ask, what divine idea is seeking expression through me right now? Again, that list may be helpful for you, but it's any good thing, any good quality, whether it's kindness or love or peace or joy. What divine idea is seeking through me, seeking expression through me, and then being the change, surrender, giving the inner yes. I find that mantras are very helpful. Mantras are things, words, phrases that you can repeat through your mind over and over again, and you don't really have to think about it. However, they do seem to have an effect. So, for example, when I first started working as a minister and I would be called to a hospital and I wasn't sure that I would know the right thing to do, I was a nurse, so if somebody needed an injection, I was good, right? But spiritual counseling, wasn't so sure about that. So I would just, riding up the elevator, walking to the hospital, riding up the elevator, going, finding the room, mantra over and over again, God, make me an instrument of your peace. Make me an instrument of your healing. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of whatever needs to be served. When we did that, we did a big event here on Tuesday where we had Rainn Wilson come, and the mantra that I was using that whole time is help me serve abundantly, help me serve abundantly. And it rippled out and blessed, it's not all because of me, but all of our volunteers were so present, so beautiful there with their Be Kind t-shirts, that the event was just seated in this power of goodwill. And so I invite all of you to do that, to find a word that works for you and then say it over and over again. Over and over again, compassion, love, joy, whatever it is that you are seeking, and knowing again that the miracle that you are seeking is seeking you. In fact, it has sought and found you. However, we have to open our eyes and our hearts in order to receive it, and one of the best ways to receive is to give it away. So if I'm seeking love, if I give love away, I will surely experience love, because any spiritual quality is the same, both coming and going. Okay? We have so many examples of that in this community, and this is one reason that we're here, is to lift each other up in these principles and to know that we are the change that we wish to see in the world, that we are the love that we wish to see in the world, that we are the kindness, that we are the peace. This is a picture from last Sunday. Check that out. That's Karen and Pamela and Bill and Lisa, and some of them are wearing kindness crowns. Now, one of the beautiful things about doing this work is that this is another key step on your to-love list, love to-do list, right? Is to do the work of showing up in the essence of the word that has chosen you, your mantra, perhaps, and then looking for visible evidence. I really want a church of kindness and a church of goodwill where we are all taking care of each other, where we are all expressing creatively, and where we are inclusive and recognizing each other's gifts. And so when you look at these pictures, you may see 4 smiling faces, but there is so much more there. There's so much more that is intangible there. There is the dedication and the inspiration of the Youth and Family Center that made kindness crowns for us. These little children that glued little baubles and pom-poms and pictures and feathers to crowns, and then passed them out to us on Sunday morning so that whoever wanted a kindness crown could wear a kindness crown. That's the inspiration of the youth and the work of the youth. There's whatever brought these folks to church, whether it was some type of challenge or some type of trauma or some type of joy or deeper seeking. All of these people conspired on church to bless us with their presence. If you look behind Karen and Pam there's books, there's beautiful books. There's beautiful books that somebody have written to inspire us. And then we look at the individual faces. Okay, there are beautiful images, beautiful faces, but there is so much more to each of them. Karen, who is finding her way and who did some of these decorations on this beautiful, beautiful stage that we have here. And Pam, who serves in so many ways, both here and beyond the center. Bill, who did our beautiful dedication to the veterans a couple of weeks ago. And then Lisa, who serves us hospitality every single Sunday. She gets here early and serves us hospitality because she loves us and we love her. And then there's more. There's more. Look at this. There's Petra in her pajamas. Woohoo! Sorry about that. And then 2 of our youth leaders who inspired this whole project. And behind them is our bulletin board filled with musicians that have blessed our center. You see how much good we have here and how it's sometimes hard to take notice of it when we're caught up in the moment or in the stuff, or if we're complaining about someone like, why isn't the flat choir there? That was me this morning. If we're just caught up, we fail to see the beauty that is around us always, and the level of detail. Oh, and there's the elf on a shelf. I don't think he's here. Oh, he's here. Yay. This beautiful elf on a shelf who hung the wreaths for us. That is a significant contribution to climb all the way up there, and it's scary up there. I got to tell you, it's really scary, especially on that side. Seriously, if you want to get scared sometime, we'll take you on a little tour because there's a secret room over there. Yeah. But Greg took his own time to put on a paper crown and risk looking like an elf. to bless our sanctuary with putting a wreath up. Now, does this seem silly to you or insignificant? Or how can this possibly change the world? It might. But I'd like to correct you gently and say that all of these things matter. All of these things matter. Every single thing that we do with goodwill, with intention, with the angelic virtues that we spoke about before, whether it's kindness or service or grace or love, all of these things matter. All of these things bless the world. And I know that every single person here has a divine calling, has a divine presence within you that is longing to express, that is longing to bless your lives and to bless the life of the entire cosmos. So let us pray together as we recite this affirmation. Please speak with me. My body temple is like Mary. God forever begets itself by means of me. I willingly receive a divine idea that longs to be born in me. I surrender and let it be. I bear witness to the power of the divine as I celebrate this blessedness for all beings. And so it is. And so it is. Namaste. Okay. Okay, let us pray. All right, so turning within, we breathe, we allow ourselves to be, and we anchor in this divine presence that is love, that is peace, that is joy, that is harmony, that is who we are. Together we know that the divine is always present within us, around us, as us, in every living thing, in every supposedly inanimate thing. It is all the body of divine love. It is all here for us as we are here for it. And so today I know that we have opened our hearts to receive an angelic virtue, a greater idea of love, kindness, joy, peace. Whatever it is we are seeking is seeking us, has sought us and found us. And we accept it, we say yes to it, and we allow it to flourish in our lives. And so I'm just so grateful for the hearts that have opened today, for the hearts that have changed, for every being here this morning that has said yes to church, that has not only given themselves the gift of church, but has chosen to participate in this beautiful community that loves so deeply and so widely and so profoundly. I am grateful for this center. I bless all paths to God, churches, synagogues, temples, mosques, ashrams, fundamentalists, atheists, agnostics. And with a heart that is so filled with blessedness, I say thank you, Spirit, thank you, love, and I release these words into the divine mystery. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
you.
After the service, there's also prayer with a practitioner, 1 Minute Miracles. Our practitioners are amazing. Come down front. They're wearing white stoles, and they will do a prayer for you. Okay? I think that's all I've got for now, so let us go ahead and pray. We turn within and trust and know that this Sunday has been a beautiful experience for each of us in our own unique way, that we are embodying greater and greater realizations of God qualities, of spiritual attributes, virtues, goodness, love, peace, joy, and happiness, that we take into our hearts, but we also create with them, creating out into the world that which we wish to see in the world, that beautiful, beautiful power of love that enhances and blesses everything, that comes to life in everything as we choose to bring it forth. And so I'm grateful for this time together, grateful again for everyone that stepped forward and said yes to a greater world through church this morning. So grateful for every single person here and grateful for God. And so with a heart filled with gratitude, I say thank you, Spirit, thank you, love, and I release these words into the divine mystery. And together we say, and so it is. Namaste.